Yes. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah. So this is what I like them with. And this,
Oh,
how
my.
come this is not stuck in here?
Is that,
Go like this. Don't make a big deal.
I know, but
You see?
yeah, I
yeah,
like,
okay.
Make that difference.
Really now already?
Right now. Go.
Geez,
You're
not
on.
everyone's sitting down.
you need a stool to stand up?
No. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. I'm Andrea Harris. I'm on the board of the synagogue, and I have the privilege of being the vice president in charge of fundraising. So when we call you and send you letters, it's me. Sorry. Anyway, I'm going to make the announcements tonight. CNT's next Trivia Tuesday will take place on Tuesday. It says Wednesday here. Oh, yeah, it does. Okay, we're off to a great start. The next Trivia Tuesday will be held on December 27th at 7 p.m. And enjoy virtual trivia via Zoom from your computer.
Oh, no, it says Wednesday the 27th.
Well, is it?
Yeah, Wednesday's the 27th.
I don't know. What's going on here? Okay, well, anyway, you can, it's at 7 o'clock on the 27th, whatever day that is. And you can enjoy virtually via Zoom from your computer for CNT members and not yet CNT members. And please RSVP on our website or calendar. Adult B'nai Mitzvah classes will begin Tuesday, January 9th, and will be taught by Pamela Henderson and Cantor Jessica Hutchings. The classes will meet on Tuesday evenings from 6 to 7:30, and please contact Roberta in the main office for more information. CNT's film Chavara will present a private screening of a musical fantasy film called Wonka at CNT on Tuesday, January 9th at 6 o'clock. It's the original story of the famed Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Please RSVP on our website and calendar.
That is the theatrical release. We're going to be showing it here. So
Cool.
it won't be the same as in the theater, but it's going to be pretty cool, right?
New one?
Yeah, it's a new one.
And it's free. What could be better than that, right? CNT's Next Gen will also be meeting on Tuesday, January 9th for a trivia night at Shakespeare's Pub and Grill, and that's on Eastern Avenue. Again, to sign up, go to the website or the calendar. Start making plans for our CNT's annual Beatles Shabbat on Friday, January 12th at 6:15. We expect a big crowd of people for this annual Shabbat and hope you'll get in the spirit by wearing some groovy tie-dye or paisley threads or whatever reminds you of the time. CNT's Social Action Committee is hosting a 3-part series on anti-Semitism at the Temple on Tuesdays, January 16th, 23rd, and 30th. And Rabbi will present the first lecture called Genesis of Anti-Semitism. Register for all these 3 events at our website or on the calendar. The next thing is that we are collecting diapers at the Cantor Early Childhood Education Center for Israel. Jewish Nevada and the Israeli American Council are partnering with Baby's Bounty to provide diapers to young families in Israel who have been directly affected by the attacks and the ongoing war in Israel. Our preschool has space available in its toddler class for 18 months old and over, beginning January 3rd. The preschool has Spanish-speaking teachers and immersion classes. For more information, please go to our website. CNT Sisterhood's Mark Fine Family and Gift Shop is closed tonight, but it will reopen next Friday, 45 minutes before services next week.
Actually, in January.
In January, that's right, sorry. Okay, I'm only reading what I'm given. It's also open Sunday mornings from 11:15 to 12:15, as long as Sunday school is in session.
So next January.
Yes, yummy. Or you can always call for an appointment, and someone will meet you there and be glad to help you with your choices
In January.
in January. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Andrea. Yeah, because the temple office is going to be closed Monday and Tuesday. And we'll be open for a few days. Next Friday night, no in-person services. But tonight, there is in-person services. What do you think?
In-person services, and I hear something that, again,
Refill.
another trip,
Another trip, but
the
not just
end of January.
the end of January. So, all teasing aside, I am going to Israel. I'm going to show solidarity on behalf of our congregation, on behalf of our community, myself, and about 40 other rabbis in the Reform movement. We're going to be going on January 27th to February 4th. So we are starting a CNT Stands with Israel Fund, and I hope that you will allow me to bring a few shekels from our synagogue to Israel where it is most needed. You may remember I did a similar mission to Poland when the Ukraine war started. So this is, sadly, Israel's at war, and I just feel I need to be there. If you look to your right and left, you'll see we still have the names of the hostages. And I think they announced that one of the American hostages died. So it's a very sad time, and I think Israel needs our support, and they need to see us, that we're with them. And you'll hear a little bit more about this, but that's true. That's true. So I'm looking around the congregation. You guys were nice enough to come this legal holiday weekend. Anyone visiting for the first time, please introduce yourselves. Come on, come on. Okay, not the exact first time, but come on, come on. There we go. Say it louder. Look at the congregation. There's Larry. He was here last week. All right. Larry, where do you live? On the east side of town. So Henderson. Okay. Very good. Well, welcome. Welcome. You know each other. That's good. So she says 3 months, he says 2 months. They must have been married a long time. Yeah, that's right. They've been married a long time. In Merrill Gardens? Oh, very nice. Very, very nice place. No, Noah, where do you live? In West Henderson? I don't know. Is he an A student? Okay, well, you're an A student. Okay. You heard it from the teacher. A gold star student. All right, very good. Come on, trio. Stand up. And they're new to Henderson. Is anyone here? Hold on, don't sit down yet. We have to teach you some more. Does anyone here love astronomy? Look, not pastrami, astronomy. All right, there is your man, okay? What's your major? There you go. So there's a conversation starter right there. How about film? Who likes film? All right, two people like film. That's because everything's become Marvel, okay? 3, what was your major? What was your major? Film. So there you go. Another conversation starter. All right? We got you. Welcome. Welcome. See, I said for the first time they didn't want to stand up because they were here one time before. They're just literally, you know. I'd say, who's been here 50 times or less? I got to preface it. What do you think?
50 times or less.
Yeah, 50 times or less.
And how long of a period of time?
Now listen, you don't look like the cantor. Where is she? Talk about trip again.
Another trip.
Another trip. Where is she? About right now, off the coast. She's sailing.
Takes me way to where I've always heard
Okay, but where?
Uh,
I don't know.
Jamaica, man.
Okay, there she is. So she shall be back in January. That's right. And until then, you're stuck with me. All right. Well, we have Glory, so thank you very much. And John.
You're welcome very
All
much.
right. And Eddie, what do we have as an opening song? Shalom Aleichem, everyone.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech malachei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boechem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech malchei hamlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu ni l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech malchei hamlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Zechem l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech malchei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
I'd like to invite Andrea to have the mitzvah of kindling the Shabbat lights. We're on page 120, 121.
May I just, oh,
Go ahead.
may I just say, I did the announcements, I'm doing the candles, I brought all my homemade desserts for the Oneg, so what are you doing here tonight?
Yeah, you're like a one-woman band.
Just thought I'd ask. Okay, sorry, I had to put that in.
You're setting the bar high for the future candlelighters. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. You notice the extra candle to remind you that is to honor the hostages in Israel. Please, God, we think of them.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner, lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Page 124, we read together. We enter this sanctuary to welcome Shabbat. Within these walls, we sit surrounded by numberless generations. Our ancestors built the synagogue as a visible sign of God's presence in their midst. Throughout our long history and our endless wanderings, it has endured, a beacon of truth, love, and justice for all humanity. Its presence guided our ancestors to lives of righteousness, holding up to them a vision of their truest selves. Now we, in our turn, come into this sanctuary to affirm the sacredness of our lives. May we enter this place in peace. May holiness wrap around us as we cross its threshold. Weariness, doubt, the flaws within our human hearts, the harshness of the weak, let these drop away at the door. In the brightness of Shabbat, let peace settle upon us as we lift our hearts in prayer. We continue on page 138 with Lachadodi.
Verses 1, 2, and 9.
la 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 chadodi. Ya la 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 kratkala. Ya la 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 Pnei Shabbat. Pnei Shabbat nekabe. Ya la 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 chadodi. Ya la 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 kratkala. Ya la 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 Pnei Shabbat. Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad. Hishmiyanu elcha miuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad. L'shem u'tiferet belit hilah. Ya la la ya la 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 chadodi. Ya la 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 kratkala. Ya la 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 Pnei Shabbat. Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha. Ki mikol habaracha. Merosh mikedem nesucha. Sof mashek b'maksheva techila. Ya la la ya la 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 chadodi. Ya la 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 kratkala. Ya la 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 Pnei Shabbat. Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Please rise to greet the Shabbat bride. Boi v'shalom ateret bala. Gam b'simcha ובצולה תוך אמונה עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. יא לה לה, יא לה 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 לחדודי. יא לה 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 לקראtkala. יא לה 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 פני שבת. פני שבת נקבה. יא לה 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 לחדודי. יא לה 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 לקראtkala. יא לה 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 פני שבת. פני שבת נקבלה.
We remain standing for the Baruch Hu 146.
Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la
be seated. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim. B'chochma poteach sha'arim uvitvuna meshane itim. Umachalif et hazmanim umisader hakochavim b'mishmeroteim barakeh kirtzono. Borei yom v'layla golel or mipnei choshech v'choshet mipnei or. Umavir yom umevi layla umavdil ben yom uvein layla. Adonai tzvot shmo. El chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv aravim. 151. Together, as you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. We rise for the Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kevod Malechuto, Le'olam Va'ed.
Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever. Please be seated. Zane, let me call you up here. Who else do we have? Well, we got some more kids. Come on up if you want to help Zane with the Ve'ahavta. Come on over here. Lori will do it with you. You're going to do it with Glory. I know, that's why you're doing it.
Come forward.
All right, you stand right next to me. You'll be good. Zane has his bar mitzvah in January.
Oh, it's such an important month.
That's right. Okay, first step, Zane, 154.
Ready.
He's going to go home and tell his mom, you know what the rabbi made me do? Read a prayer.
Oh, you're almost there. One page. There you go.
All right.
You ready?
Here we go. Everybody, you got it?
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'kol lecha uv'kol nafshecha uv'kol meodecha ve'hayum hadvarim ha'ele asher anohi metzavecha hayom alevavecha v'shinatam levanecha v'dibatam bam v'shivtecha bevetecha uvlechtecha maderek uvshaklecha uvkumecha uvshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotavot beinenecha uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkerut ve'asitem et kol mitzvotai hirekem deloshim Eloheihem ani Adonai Eloheihem asher oteitem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lahem Elohim ani Adonai Eloheihem Adonai Eloheihem emet.
We'll
Do
do it.
I have to?
Yeah, we'll do it together.
Standing on the shores of history, we still believe that we are taught before we stood at Sinai's foot. Whenever we go, it's eternally Egypt, that there's a better place, a promised land, that the wind pass through the wilderness. no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together.
Nice
Job.
job.
All right, go ahead and have a seat. Thank you. Vishamru is on page 162.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. בני בני ישראל, בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
We rise for the tefillah 164, 166.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, ata Adonai Magen Abraham Ezra Sarah ata Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechaye Hakol ata Rav Le'oshia Mashiv Haruach Umorid HaGashem Mechakeu Chayim Bechesed Mechaye Hakol Berachamim Rabim Somech Noflim Verofech Olim Umatir Asurim Umekayem Emunato Lishen Me'afar Michamocha Ba'il Givurot Umidom Melach Melech Memit Umechaye Umatzmiach Yeshua V'ne'eman ata lecha chayot hakol Baruch ata Adonai Mechaye hakol Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh Ukdoshim bechol yom V'haluch etzela Baruch ata Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh.
We continue now at our own pace, praying quietly until page 181. At that time, be seated. We take time now for our Misha Berach. For those of you who are watching online, we may not have the technology without the cantor to see you, but we ask that you submit the names in the chat on Facebook and know that your prayers are heard as a community of ours. And we here who are in person, our thoughts now turn to Katie Fedrizzi, Jeremy Filer, Evan Harpole, Nora Gavriela, Mindy Backrack, Stephen Grau, Nathan Rubin, Judah Tomorrow, Tom Kropp, Shoshana Ham, Lori Fletcher, Kim Botwin, Donna Zale. Of course, we think of families and friends in Israel. I think also of my sisters, Audrey, Dina, and Lisa. As I look at you, the congregation, if you'd like to say the name of someone for a prayer of healing, please stand. Paul. Now we stand, if you're comfortable, arm in arm with the person next to you, or stand by them, and let us feel the strength of our community.
The ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mikol habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Please be seated. So it's been a long time since I first read this story, decades actually, but it was a story that touched me so many years ago. And to honor my teacher, Wally Kelter, this was his story that he shared with me, and I try to read it every Hanukkah, and it speaks to me a little bit differently this year, because the name of the story is The Little Boy Who Didn't Want Anything Jewish. And as I spoke about in last week's sermon, because of the rise of anti-Semitism, many people unfortunately have been hiding their Jewishness. They've been afraid. And I'm trying to encourage people that although we are afraid, we should not hide, and we should stand tall being Jewish. And so this is a story of a journey of a little boy who, it took him a long time to appreciate his Jewishness, the death of a loved one. And so here we are, and we have the good fortune to stand up for being Jewish, and to stand with Israel, and to stand up for who we are. And so this story speaks to me in a different way this year. Once upon a time, a long time ago, in hard times in the middle of winter, in a small corner of a very great city, a son was born to two very simple Jewish people. Now their names were not Mary and Joseph, though they might just as well have been, since they regarded their son just as Mary and Joseph regarded little Jesus. And so did the child's grandparents and their friends and all manners of aunts and uncles and people of the neighborhood. At Hanukkah, when the boy was only 1 year old, everyone discovered, well, there was something wrong with him. He was beautiful in appearance with blonde hair and fair skin, and he played nicely with other children and talked before it was expected of him, but there was something wrong. The grandfather, a short, round man with a very hearty laugh that year, because the Christmas season had been very good to him, had just lit the shamus and was preparing to light the first Hanukkah candle when the little boy stuck out his tongue and gave a Bronx cheer. He repeated that the next night, and again when the third candle was lit. During the day, he played nicely and ate what was given him and napped without disturbing anyone. But in the evening, when it was time for the menorah to be lit, he stuck out his tongue and made ugly noises and tried to knock over the menorah. When Hanukkah passed, the boy was all right again, and everyone thought, Well, perhaps he had had some disturbance, some illness without a fever, which caused him to behave so strangely. But soon it was forgotten, and everyone loved him as before. Then Purim came, and time to read the story of Esther. And the little boy threw soup on his family's Megillah and made it impossible to read. And when Passover arrived and the little boy's grandmother tried to cleanse the house of all the bread and change the dishes, he went into the pantry and climbed up and dropped all the Passover dishes on the pantry floor and put matzah in the bathroom. And when the Seder began, he spilled Uncle Henry's wine on the tablecloth. "Oi!" the little boy's grandmother cried. "What are you doing?" His mother, who loved him but could not understand his behavior, said, "Tell us, why are you doing this?" And she cried a great deal because of what her little son, her angel, had done. But the little boy, after all, was just too young to explain himself. It seemed all he wanted to do was make a mess of the holy days, but no one could tell why. And so the little boy's early years passed, happy and smiling, except on days like Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, when, during the most serious and important services, he would begin to cry or scream and pull the old men's beards and tear up the prayer books. And no one knew why. But still, his parents and his grandparents loved him, and many aunts and uncles and cousins, and even some of the neighbors and people upstairs in his apartment building. For he was a kind and gentle boy who had only one peculiarity, and who, after all, is not strange in some way. Then, when he was 11 years old and it was Hanukkah time again, on the afternoon of the day on which his grandfather would light the first candle, he took the box of candles and threw them in a neighbor's garbage can so that they could not be found. And when it was dark, and everyone was ready to say the prayer welcoming Hanukkah, the boy stood up and he said, "There are no candles, so you can't light them. I don't want them here. I don't want Hanukkah, and I don't want Passover, and I don't want Purim or Yom Kippur. I don't want religious school, and I don't want a bar mitzvah, and I don't want anything Jewish." And he ran down the hall crying and locked himself in the bathroom. His dad said that perhaps when he was born, the nurses had switched babies, and perhaps he was a Christian child. And his mother just sat on the couch, whimpering and wondering what she had done wrong. The grandmother slipped chewing gum under the door and told him, "My grandson, don't worry." And the grandpa, he took a walk. But late that night, when everyone was asleep and the empty menorah was back on the mantelpiece, the grandfather awoke and tiptoed to the boy's room and awakened him and helped him dress and quietly took him out of the house. The grandfather and the boy took a long walk. It was snowing and cold, but they were bundled and warm, and it made them feel good to hear the snow crunch under their shoes. The grandpa said to the boy, "I'm not going to ask you why you don't want Hanukkah or why you do what you do on the holy days. I'm just going to say to you that I know of many, many young boys, even some young girls, who do not want to be Jewish. There are many reasons, and I'm sure I could guess some of them. Maybe I could even guess yours, but I won't. I will say to you, only that one day, if you are the boy I think you are, and if you keep your eyes open and your ears open, and you pay attention to life, to everything around you, your school and nature and your family and friends, then perhaps one day you may wish to be Jewish. No, that's enough. We will have hot chocolate with whipped cream." And then they went to the place the grandfather knew and had hot chocolate with no skin on top. Well, not long after that, the grandfather, who was an old man, died. And then the grandma, who was also old, died too. Uncle Feifel died, and cousin Rebecca, the dog Pushkin, and Mrs. Granowitz upstairs, and finally the boy's father, who died by surprise before it was expected. And by this time, the boy was grown, tall and thin and handsome, and he was in college and studying to be a mensch, which is a very special profession open only to a few. The first thing required of him, of the boy, before he could become a mensch, was that he study music of old times and music of today, and the lives of people who had lived long ago, and the fun in their lives and all the sad parts, and their paintings and carvings and what they believed and what they did not believe. Then when he had finished the first part, he began the second. He got married. He found a nice girl and told her who he was and how he behaved really strangely on Hanukkah and Yom Kippur and the other holy days. And she said she was strange too sometimes. She liked to slam doors and sleep 12 hours a day and not ride bikes. So they got married. She let him not be too Jewish. He let her sleep late and slam doors, and they were happy. Then the boy, who was now a young man, became a father. Not once, but twice. One boy, one girl. And the days passed very quickly. And the boy, who was now a man, passed them without Hanukkah or Rosh Hashanah or Sukkot. He was very busy, and he did not miss them. And then one day, again at Hanukkah time, when a bright sun appeared after 3 days of steady, heavy rain, and everything seemed scrubbed, the boy took a walk along the beach with his wife and his children. He looked at the ocean and thought how those same waters had flowed against the shore for thousands of years. He thought about how beautiful it was that the sun always came out after a rain. He thought how amazing it was that the boy skipping stones in the ocean was his son, and the girl with the cotton candy was his daughter. He thought that if his grandfather had not come to America from a land far away, he might be looking at a different ocean, or no ocean at all. And in fact, he might not even be at all. That night he read some old letters from his grandpa, and then he read a story about Jewish people in Europe 100 years ago. The next morning, he went back to work. But he found that at night, when his work was finished and he was watching television or playing with his kids or admiring his wife, he was thinking more and more about how he had become a mensch, of all the people who had helped him from the time he was a boy. And most of them were people who lit candles on Hanukkah and worshiped quietly at other times, some even every Shabbat. And he read that people who were Jewish were doing the same things now that other Jewish people had done for hundreds of years. And some of the things for thousands. And it seemed wrong that if he were Jewish, and Jewish people had done certain things for so long, that he should stop doing them. So he began doing Jewish things even though he didn't know why. He didn't know why he was doing them, and he found that they were enjoyable and made him feel that the Jewish people who lived long ago and walked around without ties and permanent press were his friends and brothers, and he read about them and came to know them. And one day, after he had read a lot of books and looked at nature and his friends and his wife and his son and his daughter, he drove to the cemetery where his grandfather was buried. His grandfather was buried straight up down the line from the second telephone pole at the side of the road as you drove up the hill. And when he found the grave with his grandfather's name, he stood there for a moment, remembering his grandfather and Uncle Fievel and his grandmother and the dog Pushkin and his dad, and he said, I think I want to be Jewish now. He stood there for a minute more, and then he drove to a place he knew and ordered 2 hot chocolates with whipped cream. He drank only one. And then he went home. Shabbat shalom. $586, we rise for the Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו לכל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Please be seated. Again, if you're watching on Zoom, please submit the names for Kaddish or Yortzeit into the chat. And now those of you who are here, we remember those who have passed away, and we say Kaddish, and we remember the Yortzeits on 598. With recent passing, we recall Rabbi David Ellenson, Josephine Lemberg, Zoila Cornejo, Bill Mann, Mel Kenwood, Priscilla Kenwood, Phyllis Ruth Hoffman, Stephen Simon, Art Marshall, and Doris Munich. We recall the Yortzeits of Manny E. Aronofsky, Aaron Azen, Sheila Berkowitz, Sam Blotstein, Rose Bambaka, Evelyn Kofiner, Benjamin Cohen, Eli Cohen, Saul Doctors, Felix Einsohn, Joshua Fink, Nina Flaum, Joseph R. Genovitz, Eric Lickhouse, Isidore Grau, Stacy Hutchings, Bernard Hutzel, Rachel Kinsler, Robert Levy, Dina Lieberman, Sam Lionel, Dana Marshall, Bernstein, Mazer Donald, Gladys Miller, Rose Molaski, Fema Moore, Mina Myers, Irving Polonsky, Barry Paper, Dorothy Perlman, Ann Reichlin, Jerry Roth, Julian Neal Rounds, Dennis Sabbath, Lawrence Savage, Jack Martin Schneider, William Server, Jackie Smith, Craig Smith, Stephen Spector, Craig Stoller, Alan Unger, Dean Webb, Gertrude Weil, Lillian Zwern. If you'd like to say the name for Kaddish or Yortzeit of folks who are not mentioned, please stand to say their name. Okay. So we think of all these, we rise to recite Kaddish. Yid Kadal, Yid Kadash, Shemei Rabbah, Bialma, Divra, Chirute, Viamlich Malchute, Bachayachon, Viomechon, Chayed Achol Beit Yisrael, Bagalav Zman Kari, Vimru Amen. Yehishmei Rabbah Mevorach, Leolam Omeil Maya, Yit Barach, Vish Tabach, Vit Baar, Vitramam, Viet Naseh, Vitadar, Vitaleh, Vitalal, Shmei de Kushab, Richu, Leila Minkol, Berchata, Vishirata, Tush Bechata Venechamata, Damiram Bialma Vimru Amen. Yehesh Loma Rabba Mishramaya V'Chayim, Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. O say shalom bimramav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, Amen.
Amen.
May be seated. Well, as we noted, Andrea Harris, the fabulous creator of Yummy Goodies, is the one who has made our Oneg Shabbat. It will be in the foyer, and it will be in December, not January. It'll be tonight. All right. Thank you, Glory.
The last
Thank you, John.
great service live of the year.
That's right.
Yeah, that's why I dressed up.
Well, thank you. That's why I dressed down. Eddie, thank you. Thank you, John. And thank you all for being here. We would like to invite our newcomers, anyone who views himself as a relative to join Glory, for a little Kiddush and Motzi on the Bima. You don't have to say anything. You just get to stand there, have a little challah, a little wine. Come on. Don't be bashful. And then our bar mitzvah boy, Zane, come on up. See, we got a bashful group. All right, we got a few.
I think we know better.
That's right.
They're not bashful.
They're, okay, no bashful. Put that cup of juice in Zane's hand. Let's get him warmed up for his bar mitzvah.
In January.
In January.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Amen.
I want all of it.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Yummy. Ooh, you okay? They all jump. Our closing song. Your favorite. Our closing song, Olam Chesed Yebaneh, the last time of the year. Join me, please.
Olam chesed yimaneh, yalalai, lai, lai, yadadai. Olam chesed yimaneh,
Shabbos, everyone. Happy secular New Year. We'll see you in January. That's right. Everyone go into the foyer. Enjoy the beautiful Oneg Shabbat. Find some new folks. Introduce yourselves. Make some new friends for the new year.